Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Liebherr World Table Tennis Championships 2017, coming to you live from Mesa, Dusseldorf in Dusseldorf, Germany. I'm Adam Bobrow, your commentator, and commentating with me, the pride of Scotland table tennis, it's Gavin Rumgay. How you doing, Gavin?
Yeah, it's superb, and still on a high after watching what was such a superb men's final.
To hear Ma Long say he will never play a match that well again for the rest of his life is an amazing statement, and just reminds us how fortunate we are to have witnessed it live. We'll be talking about that with everybody else in the world and table tennis fans all over for years to come, but right now we're coming up on the women's doubles final. And it's two very strong pairs. It's a battle of generations. Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling. Chun Meng on the left there. And the light crew spinning the Chinese flags. Very cool digital graphics. It'll be interesting to see how these two compatriots and finalists from earlier on in Asia 2016 will be challenging the top two players in the world. Ding Ning, the Queen of Hearts and the standing world champion, Olympic gold medalist, defending world champion, and Liu Shiwen, the four-time World Cup winner, who's been back and forth between #1 and just out in the world. Again, an interesting combination. Although this is a match between two right-handed players and Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning, who have the right-left-handed combination, which tends to be a benefit in table tennis, right, Gavin?
Yeah, definitely, because you can get your forehands in a little bit easier. Obviously in doubles it's important that you're not bumping into your playing partner as well. So that just makes it that little bit easier. Left-hander obviously able to serve from the area of the table they would normally serve from in singles as well. So that's all just little advantages that can all build up.
We will see. I think, like the changing of the guard that did not happen with Fan Zhendong in women's doubles, there's a real chance here. Zhu Yuling and Chun Meng, the youngest of the big four, the two lower-aged ones after the retirement of the Queen Li Xiaoxia, the Queen of Hearts. The real queen right now is on the table, Ding Ning, the tallest player out here. We also see far from the table, and it looks like the choice will be Ding Ning's side to serve. So a little bit about how these teams got here. Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling started off in the early round beating Nigerians, coming all the way over here for an exciting match. Now, Nigeria is a booming country in table tennis ever since Quadri Aruna had shown himself in 2014 against Zhang Jike and many others, and in the Olympic Games against Timo Boll and Zhuang Zhiyuan. So a lot more popularity for the sport in Nigeria. Very exciting to catch a live Lagos Open or Nigeria Open, whatever it is. In the next round, the Chinese pair, Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling, beat Adina Diakonu and Bernadette Soch 4-0. After that, it was Dora Madrash and Sandra Pergel from Hungary. Sandra Pergel having an incredible tournament in singles, but 4-0 once again for the Chinese pairing. After that, they faced the United States, the women, Wu Yue and Lily Zhang, which was a mind-blowing performance, quite noteworthy and newsworthy for the United States. And in the first 3 games, they were quite close. But after that, China pulled ahead. Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling winning 4-1, and did just the same earlier today, I believe, to Feng Tianwei and Yu Meng Yu of Singapore, a classic combination. Now, luckily for Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning, they didn't end up on the same side of the draw, because Liu Shiwen doesn't have many fears, but she seems to be a bit allergic maybe to Feng Tianwei at the table. And ever since that scarring 2010 victory, where Singapore became the world champions over China, and this is the last time in teams that China has lost in the final, men or women. Before that was 2000, I believe, with Sweden over China. Chun Meng world ranked #5, and the cool new skirts out there. Loving that fluorescent look, going with those special shoes from Zhu Yuling. I feel like the Chinese outfits for women's table tennis are quite innovative.
Yeah, they've definitely been spiced up in the last few years, and yeah, that's what we need.
So you can see the best result there was 2015 in the semifinals, but Zhu Yuling obviously playing the final here this year, one-upping her 2015 performance from Suzhou. And again, that match could have gone either way. If Ding Ning didn't take it to 2-2, we could be looking at a very young world champion But the 26-year-old, the Queen of Hearts, Ding Ning, world ranked #1, 2 times world champion, you could see on screen, and she's looking to double it up here. Take home 2 titles, going 2 for 2 in her events with her compatriot, world ranked #2, 26-year-old Liu Shiwen. With all the titles that Liu Shiwen has, again, finalist, not champion, is the best world championships result we've seen yet from Liu Shiwen. Will she be back in 2 years? We'll have to see. Best of 7 Ding Ning to start.
It'll be interesting as well to see if any of the 4 ladies here on screen were watching the men's singles final unfold, or do they take themselves away to the practice hall and stay out of the drama?
Well, that's a great question. You know, there was actually medical drama earlier today in the practice hall, and we saw that the players did what they could to stay focused on their match. Similarly, the women might be doing the same for this. But as you mentioned, they are teammates, and it was a fascinating final. When you're getting ready, you know, you just have to wonder, are they watching? Now, I have to assume the Queen of Hearts there. We saw the crown in the heart. Ding Ning fan club. So dead even here, the first 4 points split. I will be curious to see how it plays out with the right-handers in the footwork and how much advantage we see from Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen in positioning and placement. And you can feel it's a little bit of trouble again, even though there's more movement on the red side with Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. They're just stuck in the backhand corner a bit, Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling. For me, the real chance is when Zhu Yuling has that first backhand to send the others off the table. But not fast enough, and Ding Ning capitalizes, staying on top of the ball. Beautiful angle, so wide from Liu Shiwen. She was far back from the table on that one, Gavin.
We've seen quite a few of these really good angles. Obviously, to do that as well, you have to take a little bit of pace off the ball. And quite a few of the rallies so far extended past the 3rd and 5th shots, and that makes for a really good match. Both sets of players seem quite relaxed, but also quite focused.
And right after saying that, a ball that sits up a little bit for the forehand flip, which was so brilliant in singles from Zhu Yuling, goes out. Chun Meng with a nice setup wide to the backhand for Liu Shiwen. Then the follow-up attack just too wide.
And you can see there when you have the 2 right-handers in a partnership, they have to make sure that they have strong backhands as well, because it is tougher for both players to find their forehand round that corner.
Excellent lean in there, moving into the table. Chun Meng staying on top of the ball and taking it as early as possible. She was a step behind, but moved in quickly. Excellent angle once again. Chun Meng quick on 1 foot to play it wide with the flip. And at the second towel break of the game, I'd like to let you know that you can send in your questions at ITTF World on all the social media, from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat to Weibo. And also hashtag Ask the Commentator, and we will take your questions. So Liu Shiwen now with the serve, 2-point lead for the pair in red. Now, as far as colors go in sports psychology, they do say that red is a winning color. And I don't know if that's a superstitious thing so much as it is statistically shown, or that it has something to do with our vision and what, you know, sort of stimulates us, like danger maybe, gets us pumped up.
Or possibly like Tiger Woods in the golf, always on the final round of a major, he would wear the red shirt as well.
Fascinating. Excellent anticipation. Chun Meng starts making a move early as soon as Ding Ning turns the corner to play an inside-out forehand.
So when you're up against a right-left-handed combination in doubles, it's really important that you can try and shift one player into the other by playing wide.
Ball hits shirt, Liu Shiwen says. Chun Meng says yes, she's right. Well, Zhu Yuling did the right thing to look and say, huh? Is that right? And Chun Meng said yes, it did. Good fair play, of course. And good eye from Liu Shiwen. Serve drifts long, no problem. Rocket backhand. Chun Meng ties it right back up. Now the younger pair was trailing. They were down 5-7 at the second towel break, and I think 4-7 before that. Look at the placement to the very corner. Liu Shiwen hadn't even come down yet to set her feet. Pace and placement. Face of the racket pretty open there. Ding Ning keeping it a little bit ambiguous. If she could push it, if she was going to go for the attack, it wasn't tucked back like the Chiquita that we see from Fan Zhendong and many others. Very intense match. They are taking their time before the serve. Umpire warns them to play. The points are crucial. It is a best of 7 match, but the first game gives a lot of momentum and confidence to whoever will take it.
It was a good direction as well off that half-long serve, being able to push Liu Shiwen out into her playing partner.
What appeared to be an around the net shot, a recovery, a flat hit back. Let's see this one more time. There was the one right around the post. This goes another 3 shots longer than the time before. If that sort of chopping side spin lob comes down on the table, that would have been point of the match almost without a doubt. But who knows, they've produced incredible points in the women's singles final, 2 of these 4. And it pays off, that slower, spinny loop up high after a lot of the fast shots in near the table. Zhu Yuling and Chun Meng take the first game over world rank number 1 and number 2, and we'll be back for game 2 after this. As the players come back for game number 2, it's the bright yellow and black, black and yellow at the top of the screen. Zhu Yuling, who will start with the serve, and Chun Meng for the third ball, leading over the world champion Queen of Hearts Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen, world number 1 and 2 in red.
Did really well in that first set. The 2 right-handed players, and both able to to play strong backhands over the table, and obviously the two right-hand players staying at that left side of the table, it does mean that you're quite close to one another. Not enough time to play forehand after forehand after forehand, so yeah.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of high pressure points late in game one, and it just seemed like the level kept going up and up. Looks like the best points of the match with Fan Zhendong and Ma Long not long ago. Gavin, I just have to say real quickly, it's funny, even saying Ma Long and Fan Zhendong, in a sense, my heart rate started to go up because it took me back to that match. I hope we get to see a match of the same caliber here. So far, the women have been delivering top-notch excitement. And then, of course, a point like that happens, but curse of the commentator. But even though that ball goes long, this is, you know, Zhu Yuling coming in, or I guess Chun Meng, they're both trying to initiate early on. And as two right-handed players, using the backhand early, not a bad decision. I guess it depends on where your teammate is and where the ball is on the table, but they get this point with the backhand attack. Chun Meng using that wrist way back wide.
And sometimes if you feel your playing partner's slightly off balance, you can play either a big winning shot or you can slow the game down so that you're letting your partner get back into the point. Got to be a lot of peripheral awareness in table tennis when you're playing in the doubles.
Yeah, more so than usual. I mean, it's amazing how well aware these players are of their opponent, but as you said, peripheral, really side to side, knowing spatially what you have to work with and how you can help your teammate out, your partner. Interestingly enough, Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning didn't go to the towel once again. We saw that late in the first game. You could argue that it buys you a little bit more time at the table to talk. You don't have to worry about spending time walking over to the towel box while your opponents are doing just that. Very low spinny shot. She was so tight with that forearm to just snap up and keep the speed on the ball. I guess speed and spin. Strong start, but once again, Chun Meng anticipating well. She's had to do it from both players. You can remember in game one against Ding Ning, she would start to move so early. Again, two right-handed players, a little bit of a disadvantage.
And that might appear a little bit fortunate there, the ball clipping the net, but if you take that ball right off the bounce, there is a very good chance, if you do read the spin and keep it low, that you can get a little net cord and send the ball onto your opponent's side.
Beautiful backhand. I mean, she was way behind the table for that, Gavin.
Just shows that the two right-handers really, really strong in their backhand corner.
And this could sort of help eliminate the advantage that a left-handed, right-handed combination has if both right-handers are so two-winged out here. Just missing wide. The second to last shot for me from Zhu Yuling deep on the table was a lot of pressure. Wasn't a lob, it was a topspin sort of punching shot. Same pattern once again with the towels. No go for the team in red, and the younger pair walking over to dry off. Interestingly enough, the younger pair has been back behind the tables, so maybe they're just perspiring more. That surprised me. Liu Shiwen got in a little bit late for that. I thought that was going to set up a winner for Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling.
Sometimes that can disturb your opponent's rhythm as well. Coming in to take it really early or actually waiting until the ball almost bounces twice and then go short again. Just didn't get high enough on that ball. There's already topspin on it, so you need to start your racket just above the ball and Try and put a little bit of pressure down on the ball to get that one back.
So another game dead even in the deep parts. It's pretty rare that we see that come down too short rather than too long. Of course, players, when they're lobbing, are trying to keep it right at the baseline of the table. That looked so methodical, that hand sweep, like it was almost a sign. What if that was the sign on the tables for like short underspin? Beautiful backhand, again timing it just right off the bounce. Liu Shiwen not allowing much reaction time for the pair in black. Now again, for those of you a little bit newer to table tennis, in doubles, as you've noticed, they have to alternate shots, and you will see not only signals from the serving team, sometimes, like in this case, setting up the third ball, telling the server what she wants, but even sometimes on the receive. We saw that with the mixed doubles world champions, a lot of conversation about here's the receive I'm going to give, so get ready for your fourth ball attack or whatever it may be.
In a game as fast as table tennis, you have to be thinking in advance.
3 points in a row, now 3 game points for Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen, but one is saved. You know, and as you mentioned, thinking in advance, knowing combinations, but also being able to improvise if things don't happen the way you predict. That's so important. You've seen people, even at Ma Long's level, set up a play and just move a little bit early and be completely shocked when someone hits it the unthinkable short side of the table. Liu Shiwen win Dusseldorf. Well, in doubles, there's still a great chance for that, although they are down 0-1.
Should damage their racket slightly there, I think, but as long as you lead in with the front edge on these half-long shots, you don't see a broken finger or thumb.
Well, as long as the rubber isn't broken on the racket, the umpire would check it if they think it might be, in which case she would have to replace it, but it seems to be fine. So Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen take game number 2, 11-8, and we'll be back for game 3 to see who takes the lead right after this. So we come back for game number 3. Little conversation with the umpire about who's serving, which is typically marked down. Umpire will let the players know. I was looking at the edge of the racket for Ding Ning. It looked like there was a little bit of lift in the rubber, you can see. See it right on the lower side of the black rubber. Softer shot. Great time to slow it down and hit a softer spinny ball when the opponent's back from the table. So as Liu Shiwen reclips her hair, it's 2 points on serve for Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. This is more typical of how table tennis goes, although in the last match, I mean, for the men's singles, we saw a lot of the opposite. Well played into the body, a little bit of side spin left on it from Liu Shiwen. Nice cover from the middle again, right near the shirt, but it doesn't touch. Liu Shiwen just being quick.
And that's what's really important as well. When someone's attacking you, you have to keep the racket high, but also keep the racket out in front of you. Timo Boll is very, very good at that one as well. When he gets caught and the ball's near his shirt, just make sure that the racket's just slightly in front of his body to make sure he can get that ball back in play.
Right, that does help reduce the crossover point and also gives you a little bit more time if you need it, some room to back up if you have to, as opposed from starting with your elbow in near your body too much. If you are on the World Tour, make sure you have a chance or do your best to watch the players in the practice hall as well. You can learn so much from watching this level of play. Oh, burned out to the forehand. Beautiful shot. The placement from Juyu Ling. A lot of pressure there. It reminds me, you know, don't move until you see it, Josh. You've got the opening cross court, and they're waiting. They're working so hard looking for the opportunity, and finally it presents itself.
But that's one, you know, example there where pace didn't help Liu Shiwen. That meant then that Ding Ning was out of position. If you'd played that ball slowly, they couldn't have hit that winner and used the pace.
Speaking of change of pace, there was a really nice combination of shots from the women in black, sort of leaving it up a bit slower and just forcing the others to have to take a shot off balance.
It's a shot we see Samsonov play sometimes, that little slow backhand bluff, and that just causes a little bit of problems in the rhythm then for your opponent.
It's Juyu Ling who gives the big cho after leaving that bending backhand deep into the backhand corner. A little fun fact for you, Ding Ning has been runner-up in the last 4 finals of the World Championships for doubles. That's tough. That being said, she has been world champion now several times. I guess her 3rd time alongside Deng Yaping and Wang Nan. Beautiful shot. It's rare that we see Liu Shiwen get caught in the middle, but she turned for the forehand and had to try and come back across the body. Very unlikely that that shot would come so much down the line. Excellent patience for that inside-outside spinning forehand from Ding Ning.
Yeah, definitely, and it was just the way that she was able to contort her body and keep the wrist. Look at that, the way she opened the wrist on impact as well to just move right round the right-hand side of the ball. Great shot.
Now, interestingly enough, about Ding Ning's losses in the finals, in 2013 was the last time she played with Liu Shiwen. That was her only time trying. 2015 was with Li Xiaoxia. 2009 and 2011 with Guo Yan. So used to saying Lin Gaoyuan here at this tournament. He's been quite the player to watch, and the match with Xu Xin won't be forgotten anytime soon. It's one of the best things about this tournament, Gavin. There's so many matches. You could make a top 10 list of matches that people should go back to see. And now we have a chance to look at what part of the table is being used. Pretty evenly spread around the court, but deep into the body on Ding Ning's side is where Juyu Ling and Chun Meng have been playing. Whereas Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning love to play out to the wide forehand, which you might expect for the two right-handed pair. It's not the first time we've seen Chun Meng anticipate well and play it back down the line after Ding Ning opens up cross court.
Yeah, she's got good use of the wrist there at the last second. Just moving in a slightly different direction up the line.
Well, Gavin, you and I are in an interesting position to talk about the players off the table. And again, there was an injury from Chun Meng. She took some time off, something near the hamstring in the final against Juyu Ling. Took all that time off physical therapy, came back lighter and faster and looks a lot stronger now than she did before the injury.
I think there was a good stat earlier on in the tournament saying about the average weight of some of the male players as well, being, I think it was somewhere in the mid 75, 76 kilo mark. And that was quite interesting as well.
Did you expect it to be higher or lower?
Yeah, I expected it to be around maybe the 70 mark. You know, some of the players are not so tall, but that just shows, obviously, you know, muscle, that dense muscle mass being quite heavy, especially in the quad muscles.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to hear that, a little bit higher than I expected. Liu Shiwen really taking her time out there, looking down at the hand before the table wipe, then the signal. Deep in the game, Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen looking to step up to a 2-1 lead. Use their first serve wisely. Now the difference in serve for Ding Ning from singles to doubles, Gavin, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, Ding Ning here, you know, sometimes she doesn't want to introduce too much spin because that doesn't actually help her partner Liu Shiwen. And sometimes it's fine in singles to introduce lots of spin because you're used to your own spin coming back and then you can work with that. Sometimes though, when you know, Liu Shiwen probably hits a little bit flatter than Ding Ning does, so she probably wants a slightly easier ball coming back. That's why we do a lot of straight, chop and no spin serves.
Second bounce on the table, and what touch. Amazing to sneak it past Ding Ning. We saw her even clip her racket on the table. She's clearly not afraid of the back edge, so that was an impressively precise shot there. What's that? Oh, a lot of fans out there supporting China from all over the world, and fans with fans too. Big point to tie it up. Game point against Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen was saved. So first deuce point of the game. World rank number 1 calling for the serve that she wants from her teammate, world rank number 2, Liu Shiwen.
You're not just wanting a short serve, you're wanting the serve to be short but very near the second bounce, getting onto the white line at the back.
Big point indeed. So a game point saved and a game point earned. It's like you said earlier, the changing of the guard, we're wondering, it's a best of 7, so we've got a ways to go, but it's really closely battled here. Oh, look at that backhand. So much extension. I mean, this is something you see where a player puts the tip down and it's almost like a golf club from the backhand side, just whipping it up.
There's quite a lot of backspin on that receive of serves. So you know, that was a really difficult shot to play away for a clean winner.
Second deuce point. And there was that fanning shot again that wasn't all about racket speed, but just making sure that it was a change of pace and it was loaded with spin. Placement again, of course. Now the serve with Chun Meng for a chance to take it 2-1. Oh, with a chop block on the backhand side from Zhu Yuling, and what a fast decision and what creative play once again from one of the top Chinese players in the world. It's a 2-1 lead for Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling in black and yellow, and we'll be back for Game 4. Stay right here. And we're back for Game 4. Ding Ding and Liu Shiwen down 1-2. See right there, the pair in black and yellow sort of fanning themselves off to stay cool. Shake out that arm, make sure that they don't get too tense, keep loose. Much like our question earlier about exploding and relaxing. So impressed with Zhu Yuling's touch. She's able to keep it so short, almost gets an outright point against Liu Shiwen.
Yeah, Zhu Yuling's been creating a lot of opening up then for her partner, playing a lot of nice little opening up shots down the lines as well, which is far tougher to execute.
Beautiful, this time she capitalizes. Well set up by Zhu Yuling, and Chun Meng there to clean up.
So good on the contact point. Sometimes it's a really heavy spin right on the top. Sometimes they open the racket just that little bit more and then extend through the ball with a little bit more pace and power. And that's something that the legend Wang Liqin was so good at. When he drifted off the table sometimes, he was so good at being able to open and close the racket depending on the shot he wanted to play next.
For a guy as strong as he is in the upper body, you'd think he'd be tighter, but his wrist was so flexible. I think the most iconic shot when I think Wang Liqin, that inside-out forehand that just bends off to the barriers. A little bit jammed up, traffic jam on the forehand side. Now, you might remember from earlier in the match, this is where a lot of the balls are played from Ding Ding and Liu Shiwen, wide to the forehand of their opponents. And maybe not right from the start of the point, but throughout the course of the point, they tend to get them moving that direction to create the opening on the backhand and the uncomfortable closeness. That quick response, though, strong pressure into Ding Ding's body. This is someone who's starting to recognize a pattern. The black and yellow pair. Chun Meng quickly brings it back, sending Ding Ding to a knee.
Chun Meng, Zhu Yuling, very good at staying a little bit closer to the table, fighting for that position at the table. And again, they tried to do that. That's a good miss. Could have been easy there to have backed off and just sent the ball back on the table. You're going to lose the point anyway.
Right, and I think for mid-level players and more beginners, it's a really important thing to remember. Coaches telling them, that is a good miss. You made the right decision. Keep it up.
So many times in table tennis, you get your timing from the way the ball bounces as well. Ball bounces and you take that ball a bit late. That's when the top edges start to happen.
It's also interesting to see the camaraderie and how people sort of work together between points. You know, with some of the young Japanese players, you can see it's really clear. Kasumi and Maharu Yoshimura, while they're more middle-aged for the Japanese program, really worked well with each other and had great chemistry, and I think that's part of the reason they're world champions now. Finally, a shot that misses. The speed right on top of the table. Liu Shiwen not bothered at all.
After such a great rally, look at the pair in red, still really close to the table. And that's the difference.
Right, getting comfortable with dealing with those shots will push your opponent back off the table and be priceless in table tennis. Also with age, if you're playing for a long time, I mean, look where Ni Xiaolian stands on the table. Pudgy won the same, Juanito in Spain. He's got to stay close as much as he can, get in early in the point, which also reinforces how important the first two shots of the rally are.
And you also have to know the way that you want to play. What are your best shots? What are your best serves? What are your best set plays? And if you can identify those, then you're definitely one or two steps closer to becoming a better player.
Right, I think creating a game that sets up your best weapon just increases the chances that you'll win the point. Learning how to make others play your game. Wow. Chun Meng's shot from behind the table blew my mind, but Ding Ning, no problem, falls out of the way and counters it back off the bounce.
Ding Ning, Liu Shiwen, they found something in the last few points that's working. Just staying that little fraction of a second closer to the table.
But fooled on the receive, that one comes up just a little bit too high. Zhu Yuling, again, that popular shovel serve that we see so many of the young Japanese players doing after many of the Chinese players. Again, the Chinese being the world leaders in table tennis, the innovators, and often setting the trends. At the top of the screen from a fashion standpoint as well, Gavin. There's that left-handed specialty, the step round inside-out forehand from Ding Ning for a 3-point lead.
If she clears enough space there around that corner, she could really hit the ball anywhere. That's a deception. If you half step round there, it's then difficult to play with that element of deception.
For a moment, I was wondering if that clipped the back edge. Sometimes you have phantom here, you know, you think your cell phone's vibrating in your pocket, but it never did. Same with edges here and there. Wishful thinking from time to time, depending on which side you're on. 4 game points for Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. Excellent job for Zhu Yuling to come in over the table, catch it at its peak. I love how they both have their hands up like Keanu Reeves. But there is a purpose to that, of course, making sure that the opponents don't serve before they're ready. We did see some interesting serves. Piste versus Harimoto. 2 serves before Harimoto was ready at the table. It was quite shocking. Well, Harimoto's another conversation for this tournament. If you didn't have a chance to see him, I mean, a lot of people didn't even think he deserved to be here as one of the 5. And he beat the top pick. And then people, they're always going to be conspiracy theorists. But Tomokazu Harimoto proved that he was worthy and continued on throughout the tournament. And against Xu Xin even showed me that he's capable of a lot more. And there's the big backhand. Deep cross court. Liu Shiwen manages to get the shot. And there we go. Game 11-8 to Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. And we'll be back. Stay right here. Another game coming up after this. Back for game number 5, and it's tied up at 2 games each. Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen looking to take this title again. Ding Ning, her first ever women's doubles world championship, if she can do this. Not for lack of attempts. She's tried 4 times before since 2009. Zhu Yuling and Chun Meng, of course, with an opportunity being quite young. It's a very aggressive receive there, that forehand flip attempt.
And how incredible would that be in this era to dominate both the singles and the doubles? I mean, that's so tough now.
Yeah, on the men's side, it didn't happen either in 2015. Ma Long partnered up with Timo Boll. They played well in 2015 and here as well. I actually felt like Timo Boll in singles against Ma Long was more surprisingly competitive. But if you heard his interview before, he was very calm and had a great attitude going in, no pressure.
And I bet it made a difference, the fact that all week being doubles partners, you have a hit with each other and you get up to that speed. Possibly Timo Boll getting up to Ma Long's speed and getting used to his game, practicing.
Right. It's like a short-term agreement for the Chinese Super League. Ding Ning so focused and calibrated on that heavy spin shot. You know, we talked about the first point with Zhu Yuling. The forehand flip is one of her best shots, and she's got a shockingly high percentage. But the step around here is really spinny. Ding Ning hooking with some side spin on that counter loop as well. That table wipe thing has really been like a little routine, a little ritual there before the receive. I mean, before the serve, when she has the third ball attack for Liu Shiwen. Liu Shiwen. Very interesting body language from the pair in black and yellow. What an answer.
Well, Liu Shiwen spinning up really heavy there, but that just meant the other pair could just use that spin, caress the ball back, and it just shoots off the racket. So sometimes it can be a disadvantage when you load the ball up with as much spin as that.
That was pretty low to the net. It's tough to fault Liu Shiwen, and I know that's not what you were doing at all, but yeah, what an impressive ball from Zhu Yuling. Oh, no chance. Excellent shot right back at the person who just hit the ball. Chun Meng having to dodge it, and Zhu Yuling was left in the other corner. Clever idea. Zhu Yuling was moving out wide to the forehand. And this is where paying attention to history is sort of important. It helps you understand the present a little better, recognizing the patterns, knowing how the opponent's mentality is going to be, and why Zhu Yuling might break out to the forehand. It's a good idea from Liu Shiwen.
What's also important is remembering little set plays. What has been working and what hasn't been working for you. So then you can come back to those same set plays at 9-all or 10-all.
You know, it was Ariel Shing of the United States whose father would sit with a notebook in the corner and just write down the stats of what works and what doesn't. Wow. That chop looked loaded. Zhu Yuling chopping. I mean, even Ding Ning is smiling there. It's such a rare occasion. And while it looked loaded, the fact that it floated a bit, Ding Ning used to playing against a Wu Yang chop, lifts up and out. Disbelief. The smile of disbelief. And we also talked yesterday a lot about how 1 point can earn you more than one. It can affect your mentality moving on. Something that's a little bit mind-boggling or rattling, and this is where a timeout is very useful. Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen want to make sure that they have their heads straight and they don't get distracted. We saw it with coaches as well. From Harimoto, after those 2 serves came in quickly, He lost 2 points quickly, and his father and his coach, Yu Harimoto, calls the timeout to make sure that he's in the right mental space. And similarly, Coach Lee with Ding Ning when she celebrated the match at 10-5 against Miu Hirano. Again, an outstanding moment that I'm sure you can find. ITTF, their official Facebook page, is filled with fun content from throughout the tournament. Cool videos, their YouTube channel as well. They're probably looking at the Facebook page right now in the timeout. Tough to know for sure, but just high chances. So Gavin, the placement here on the table, what do you think Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning need to change?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they need to keep playing. I think down the lines has been working really well for them so far. And I think that goes against the way that Liu Shiwen normally plays in singles. She's very good at playing the percentage stuff, playing on the diagonals. So it's tough for her to make that transition in doubles to start then playing down the lines. But I think that actually then helps Ding Ning to then get in with a bigger next shot.
Interesting to see Liu Shiwen sort of shaking out and stretching the left arm. Again, the balance arm is still important. Might not be working as hard as the racket arm, but learning how to use it and balance your weight, quite difficult. Oh, short side, there's the parallel. Like you said, Liu Shiwen not very used to that. She's playing out of her comfort zone a bit. And even from behind the table there, I mean, that was a little bit of side spin, a very decisive shot right out of the timeout.
It's when you need really good technique.
It's a very difficult ball, but a bold attempt from Chun Meng coming running through with that swatting backhand. It's like that one where she put the tip of the racket down earlier. Watch the follow through there. Wow, just outstanding play. Both sides, again, athleticism, agility, and a whole lot of spin from the middle of the table. How fast the ball is moving. Again, the distance the ball is traveling between these two pairs. Flat hit right into the body, shot to the heart. We don't hear too many flat shots out here at this level. I mean, they usually keep some topspin on it, but the percentages there, it was a lot more of a square hit than usual.
It's a bit more of a Georgina Pota flat hit, wasn't it?
That's right. The opening was there, a big escape for Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. That pattern has favored the pair in black and yellow on occasions in the past. 4 game points for a 3-2 lead. Remember, the first ever title for world champion as a doubles player for Ding Ning. Fast backhand off the bounce, and she's fired up and determined. 11-6. It's a 3-2 lead for the pair in red. World number 1 and world number 2 leading 3-2, and we'll be back for game 6 right after this. And here we are for Game 6. Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen just one game away from the title. Now in 2015 at the women's doubles final in Suzhou, Ding Ning and Li Xiaoxia were 3-2 up and lost the match. So Zhu Yuling and Chun Meng looking to repeat history in that sense.
Could be interesting for Ding Ning, see if she can close out this match, having been so close on numerous occasions in the past few years.
This ball clips the top of the net, breaking the rhythm. It's amazing how just such a quick little difference will affect Ding Ning in a way that she has to jump, and you'll see this with table tennis players. It's how quick their reaction time is. Oh, runs around it and plays it right down the line. A little bit easier on the wrist, but more of a surprise and less forgiveness because it's the shorter part of the table.
Not conventional, very clever.
The way she pulled that wrist around after the shot almost looked like the way we'd see Miyu Kato do a strawberry. Back edge of the table, I guess, for Zhu Yuling. Can't ask for a much better start from the pair that's trailing. Wiping the sweat again from their palms for full grip on the racket. A lot of the time we'll see with serves a very loosened up grip. Sometimes even 3 fingers come off the actual handle of the blade. Too good, deep to the backhand corner after running Chun Meng out wide, bringing her all the way back. And the fan club screams. Again, many of these fans traveling the world, coming from China to see their favorite players. In many cases from other countries in the world, from the United States, from all over, to support their favorite Chinese players. I wouldn't be surprised to see a similar following for Hugo Calderano and a handful of other players too in the coming years. So Gavin, how do you feel that pressure is affecting the 2 younger players out here?
I think they're handling it really well. You just have to keep the foot on the gas at the moment. A great start to this set.
Now Zhu Yuling so far back on this, has to reach out in front, doesn't have much room with the wrist, goes for the punch shot. It's a little lower percentage, a little bit less threatening from that far away. You have to wonder if that one clapping so hard was the president of the fan club. The level of energy differing throughout the fan club. She was far ahead of the rest. The speed on the flip beats Chun Meng to the corner. Timeout here. Zhu Yuling and Chun Meng gonna have a little discussion. And now there will be no timeouts left after this. I think this is not only a good time for a timeout, maybe even a point late. If there was a coach in the corner, probably would have called it a little bit earlier.
I've seen so many times players in this fascinating up to 11 system, 4-love up. In the blink of an eye, you're at 6-all, 7-all. That momentum shift in table tennis, you see it all the time.
You know, people often, when rules are changed, they don't like it at first. Difference is a little bit uncomfortable. But I think it's an uncomfortable for the sport in terms of entertainment value. That's a really good one. The fact that things can swing so quickly now. I mean, yeah, you mentioned it. When you're up 4-0, it feels like a runaway. It feels like, okay, this one's over. We see what's happening. But no, it's really quickly recoverable. As Xu Xin has shown us several times now, his latest victim, Lin Gaoyuan, winner of the Marvelous 12 in China. And Feng Tianwei did in Japan. 2014 at the Japan Open. Was down 1-7. Got 10 points in a row and then continued on to the next game. And as Lily Jong would say, 0-0. That's what you have to think sometimes. Stick to your tactics, and the timeout seems to help. A well-placed serve. Ding Ning discussing where maybe the bounce was going to be on the table. It's also a fine balance for players to be supportive, but not be coaching or standing on a soapbox at all with your partner. They know each other quite well. Close friends, of course, Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. That's very fortunate for Chun Meng. After going down like that the way she did, coming back up to get into the point can be quite disorienting and just difficult to move laterally. What an opening, Gavin.
A long discussion there as well about what service delivery, and I think that just maybe caused a little confusion there. And that service just delivered a little bit too long.
And a good eye on the receive as well. Chun Meng watching it right at the back edge. We've seen a few players here now, from Ding Ning hitting her racket on the table to Chun Meng playing it down the line at the back edge. Clever idea, but a difficult shot. And the cup these women are fighting for. Ju Ling again. This is probably the shortest touch shot I've seen on a receive since Michael Mays, maybe the Swedish Open right before he stopped playing. Right off the bounce with those hands, Ju Ling, it's just a question of time for me, but she will be world #1.
So important as well, the short touch, that you remain with a really short wrist. You don't extend too far through the ball, otherwise it will not remain short.
So 5 game points for Chun Meng and Ju Ling to take this to a deciding 7th game. Oh, not yet. A spanking of a shot with that backhand. Liu Shiwen gets the racket up and cracks down through it. Four more game points to go for the younger pair in black and yellow. Chun Meng and Ju Ling now with 2 serves if they need them. And they don't. Only one, please. Keep the rest for yourself. We're going to game 7. It's 11-6 for the young pair. The deciding game, exactly where you want to be if you're anyone but Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning. Game 7 coming up right after this. Here we are in the place to be, the absolute best place to be. It's game 7 for the last match of the 2017 Liebherr World Championships. And you can see on the table where the opponents are getting the other ones in trouble and where they're playing their shots, where the focus is as they spread around. The trend has been to the forehand for the pair in black and yellow, and deep to Ding Ning's backhand for the side in red, which would be Liu Shiwen's forehand.
Can Liu Shiwen get her confidence back? Just disappeared somewhat at the end of that last game.
Now remember, she is playing her defeater from the semifinals of this tournament. We're already an hour deep into the match. as Game 7 starts with Liu Shiwen's serve. Excellent shovel serve with under and side spin. It's the most yell I've heard out of both of them in unison in this tournament. It's interesting to see the communication before the serve too. Ding Ning not looking Liu Shiwen in the eyes at all, just leaving the hand down below and quickly getting focused. No, murderous shot down the line. I was surprised with that soft flip from Ding Ning that it didn't go the other way for the point.
It's important now that the pair delivering service here can respond quickly.
That's the backhand. It's becoming a signature. Chun Meng with that racket finished up in the air like she's pointing up to the commentator's booth. Watch her tuck and rip. Still manages to come to a stop. It's not completely fully extended. She pulls it back just in case so she can get out of the way. Just a little bit, but it's still a big backhand stroke. First point for Ju Yuling and Chun Meng now on the scoreboard. Inside out forehand, Ju Yuling. So strong on that shot. She's got power, she's got spin, and we know she's got the touch, Gavin.
Look at that, lovely early timing. Set up there from her partner. Great put away.
We see Ding Ning running down a lot of shots, but again, when you're playing in doubles, you don't want to get too defensive, especially when your partner's smaller and great close to the table. So 3 in a row right back the other way to the pair in red. Now Ding Ning, in 2015 at the World Championships in women's doubles, lost from up 3-2 with Li Xiaoxia. Well, that might be in her head a little bit. I think simply playing every point to the best of her ability, regardless, is in her head right now. A little confused by the score. I thought for a moment it was 3-0 and then 3-3. But I guess I had imagined wrong. Chun Meng and Ju Yuling now. You can see just like the girl in black in the crowd, they're going point for point after each other, climbing up the scoreboard. Wiping the dust off the top sheet of rubber to make sure that there's full traction for spin. There's a player warning there. Play, please. Really, both sides taking a long time. Ever seen a double yellow card, Gavin?
Shouldn't happen at this level anyway, and it's really interesting this to see who's going to turn 1 point up in this 7th and deciding set.
And whoever does win this next point will have the momentum as they switch sides of the table. There's going to be a warning for that 3 times. It continues both sides. And it's Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen who race out. Back and forth once again. You know, you can understand, too, as it gets more and more tense, the importance of planning the proper serve and thinking things through. You understand why both sides really want to take their time and plan, but it's equally enforced on both sides. So now not only does the side switch, but the receiver switches. So if Liu Shiwen has her second serve, she'll be serving to the other team, or the other player from the opposing team. And Chun Meng loads it up with spin. Not bad coming in cold for a receive against a server she hasn't faced since the last game.
She did well to work with the spin on the serve to create even more spin. And now she has her 2 service deliveries.
A little bit of a break there for Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. Find it interesting. Zhu Yuling will hop around a little bit right before she goes in. And now the shoe time. We've seen this before. I think Jun Mizutani from 10-4 down to 10-8 went down to tie his shoe. And this one goes wild, maybe off the edge of the racket there. It's dangerous. That wristy shot changes the angle of the racket and exposes the edge of the racket a little bit more to the ball.
That was a shame there as well, because Zhu Yuling came in, perfect technique on the forehand short touch, which then created a chance for Chen Meng.
Yeah, she really has been setting up a lot, and Chen Meng has had, to her credit, some incredible shots to finish. But yeah, that's the difference between tie game and down by 2 in the 7th. Power quickly off the bounce. Chen Meng really staying aggressive on top, but keeping a little bit of topspin on it. Making sure the undershorts don't interfere with play at all. You don't want compression short interference at this point in the game. Oh, and the effort there. I mean, Zhu Yuling so wide on the forehand. That's the lowest ball I've seen from her, and I can't remember how long, Gavin.
And that will feel like they've picked up 2 points there. They were not favourite in that rally at any stage. Liu Shiwen just rushing that final forehand. Long discussion again on what serve to be delivered.
Wow, a break. Zhu Yuling decided to play the push from the baseline of the table, which came long for Liu Shiwen. She got the opening. That's exactly what half long is all about, and couldn't convert the point.
Liu Shiwen has to remember, when that ball's up in the air, she doesn't need to finish it directly. Ding Ning can follow up to put the next ball away.
Oh, the open table, beautiful shot. An important backhand once again, and when you've got your teammate, your partner, that far out of court, there's extra pressure to make a quality shot. If Liu Shiwen plays that middle of the table or forehand, they're burned. They're done.
Did well after losing the last couple of points to high forehand misses.
Look at this point for point, once again matching each other and pushing each other. We could have 2 deuce in the 7th finals back to back. How did that loop not hit Chen Meng in the back of the head? It looked like it almost went under her ponytail. Amazing rally here.
It was really tense there around the net. Neither team wanting to open out and make a mistake.
That's right, the pressure to stay in, stay close to the table, hold your ground. Ding Ning with the full commitment leg sweep to finish it. Again, from off the table, she arches her back. The Harimoto a little bit. 1 point lead for Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning. Zhu Yuling's counter was unbelievable. Liu Shiwen fearlessly starts the stroke so early to take it off the bounce. 2 match points for world number 1 and world number 2. Their first time ever to be women's world champions. I mean, they've been at the top of the game for how many years now? Since around 2010. And they don't have this title. And they still don't have it yet. the finish line. Again, tightrope walkers, the last 3 steps is where the most common falls happen.
Do you try and flick them out of the park for a clean winner? Or is it the sensible play to go short?
Chiquita, but the follow-up down the line from Zhu Yuling saves it. 1 championship point saved. Wow. A spinny opening backhand. Again, the banana right there. Not enough to get her and Liu Shiwen into the point to finish the point. And a serve with Chun Meng and Zhu Yuling once again against championship point.
Having lost the previous point, do you flick out again?
And it is! It's enough! Liu Shiwen and Ding Ning, the biggest tug I've seen between the two. A moment to capture both titles, and Ding Ning fighting tears out there. What a moment for world number 1 and world number 2. 11-9 in game 7. A tough act to follow, but the Ding Ning fan club is on their feet. Tears of joy flowing. You can see hands over faces all around. And what a way to celebrate after a dramatic 2015 final and an early exit, which is tough to say about a semi-final performance, but Liu Shiwen not making the final in singles has taken the title and taken the cup right here to raise the flag for China once again, and all 4 are coming out. What a way to do it. An outstanding performance, and what a show for the spectators. What a show for table tennis, Gavin.
That was just amazing again. All 4 girls there in screen doing so well to give us another high-quality match. And it was fitting that we finished on such an excellent point, as you'll see here.
Yeah, they don't get much better than this. Liu Shiwen right off the bounce has played so boldly. Oh, man. Oh, look at that. Doesn't get much sweeter. I think also with Ding Ning being the taller player, it just really had a familiar feel and a familial feel. The hug, the biggest smile we've seen from Liu Shiwen on court, and the furrowed brow from Ding Ning with the tears starting to well up in the eyes. We have our women's doubles champions. First time in 5 attempts for the Queen of Hearts. And this truly is the year for Ding Ning. And what a way to celebrate. Again, with a close friend and a close follower on the world rankings. It's Liu Shiwen and the Queen of Hearts, who are the women's doubles champions. We're going to have awards ceremonies in a bit, and as the match analysis comes up, I'm Adam Bobrow with Gavin Rugge. We're going to be down on court live with Johnny Cowan for our interview with the champions.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, women's doubles world champions, Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen. What an incredible final, amazing match for everybody to watch to finish these world championships. Amazing. Liu Shiwen, world champion, how do you feel?
非常精彩的比赛，刘诗雯，你赢得了女子双打世界冠军，你现在的心情怎么样？
我觉得还是非常开心，然后这也是我和丁宁配的第一个双打冠军，然后也是特别为她开心嘛，然后今天能够一起最后赢得比赛，我觉得对我们俩来讲也是很美好的一个回忆。
Liu Shiwen says, I'm very, very excited to win this because this is my first time to partner with Ding Ning to win the women's double in World Championship. So I'm not only happy for myself, I'm also happy for Ding Ning. So this will be a fantastic moment for both of us.
Yes, absolutely fantastic. Ding Ning, 4 times you're losing in the World Final in doubles. This is the 5th time you've won the Women's Doubles World Championship. Are you relieved and now finally happy, Gao Xing, to be the World Champion in Women's Doubles?
丁宁在前4次的女子双打世锦赛里面都失利了，但是这一次终于拿到了世锦赛的冠军，女子双打冠军，你是不是感到非常的开心？
之前的4次世界锦标赛我都打进决赛，这是我第5次世界锦标赛参加决赛的比赛。今天能够打到最后，赢下我第1个世界锦标赛双打冠军，我很感谢我的搭档。一直在场上鼓励我吧，然后非常非常的开心。
The last 4 times I made it to the final. This time, my 5th attempt, I finally won the women's double in the World Championship. This is especially thanks to Liu Shiwen because she gave me a lot of encouragement on the field. So we are very, very excited, very happy.
And lots of people here happy as well. Congratulations, women's doubles world champions, Ding Ning and Liu Shiwen from China. Fantastic. Can you hold this? Can you hit the ball?